Hey everyone, this is Robert with Exploring the Local Life, and today we have a slightly atypical video. You're going to have the chance to watch me work a little bit on the truck, and when you full-time RV and you pull a travel trailer, your truck gets you to work, your truck pulls you home, your truck gets the groceries. So even though we just had the truck bulletproofed, you know, the head gaskets changed, a new oil cooler, a coolant filter installed this past December into the truck, there's still day-to-day maintenance. And so what I'm doing here is changing the belt tensioner pulley on the truck. It is quite an involved process, and this isn't a fully just step-by-step video. It's just giving you a glimpse into the work that it takes. So while the truck is 22 feet long and a few inches, the engine bay is actually very tight. The engine itself weighs almost 1,000 pounds by itself, and it's very tight working quarters. So anytime you want to do anything such as pulling a belt off the truck, or changing an idler pulley, or just doing anything, it's just a convoluted process of getting off the air cleaner box, getting the, well, not every time, but oftentimes the air cleaner box, and removing the cooling fan shroud. And now you'll hear me call it the shroud, you hear me call it the baffle. It's a lot of plastic that's not easy to remove off of this truck. So, you know, as I work on those issues, you'll hear me say baffle, you'll hear me say shroud, but it's all part of the process of getting to the belt and to the pulley so we can get a change done there. So I'm using a 15mm socket with an extension. In this case I need a reducer and a large ratchet. First I put the extension in there, because we have the fan still attached, and then I'm going to put the ratchet. My hands are covered in coolant because we decided to drain the radiator a little bit to get the coolant out of the upper radiator hose, and there's a little petcock on the radiator that you can just with your hand loosen, and there's a little drain if you just want to, you know, drain a little bit of coolant, and then you can pull the whole petcock out if you were really doing a flush. You just want to use a small drain where you're just removing a little bit of coolant. But as I went to close the petcock, it still kept draining, and what happened was that the lovely rubber gasket at the end of the petcock was ruptured. So now the truck is without any coolant. Isn't that awesome? So Grandpa Tony, excuse me, my father-in-law Tony, has gone out to Napa and over to the Ace Hardware to see if they have a petcock and or a rubber gasket that can go on the end of it. And I have work tomorrow. That's gonna be great. Another great assumption I'm making here is that the belt tensioner that I got is going to be the right one. Of course, these bolts want to just fall out, so I'm going to pull the baffle forward, or no, I'm not. It's still screwed in there. Alright. So why is Robert all wet? Well, we had to drain some coolant out of the truck in order to remove the upper radiator hose without losing it. Well, what happened was the radiator had a little petcock at the bottom to drain fluids, and the rubber O-ring at the bottom was damaged. So once we pulled it out and started draining the coolant we wanted to, when we put it back in, the coolant would not stop draining. So Robert had to sit there like the little Dutch boy plugging a dike with his fingers until we could drain out all the coolant in a controlled fashion. In the meantime, I got periodic showers of coolant. We're actually going to take that bolt off from the bottom too. So this is the belt tensioner for the 6-liter Ford, and if it turns out this part is not bad, you will have learned a lesson here with us in that don't buy a Ford 6-liter and make enough money so you don't have to do this. cinematography by Jessica. All right, looks correct. Now the fun thing, ladies and germs, is that there's one other pulley that I wasn't able to get yet, so I'm gonna have to do this all over again for one last pulley. Well, I finally pulled out the this guy.
Okay.
Shouldn't he spin a little bit more?
But where's the new one?
Here.
Does it have any play?
No.
No play, right?
No. So the thing is, even if this is not it, then we may still have to find that stupid one there.
There's another one?
Well, the top one, that's the one I haven't been able to get so far.
Oh.
So there's one more. One more. So
hey.
I'm thinking, and I couldn't find it at Napa or O'Reilly. I'm going to have to order it from Ford or something. I know Diesel Tech Ron has a video on how to put the belt back on, but he's got so many videos that I don't have the time, but I should take the time to find out, because I think he does explain where to start, where to go next, what to route it over. So that's, up there is the power steering, here is the crankshaft, and it's going to go all the way up there. So that's what we're dealing with down here. Oh, actually these guys are pretty firm. I think mosquitoes are just so curious as to what we're doing here. They're like, these fools. What are these humans up to now?
Well, they usually have breakfast and dinner. That's it. So, because you don't see them in the middle of the day.
Alright. I don't think I'm going to need the breaker bar anymore tonight. Okay. And every time I'm working with plastic, I'm afraid I'm going to overdo it. Okay, so I don't know if it's called the baffle or the shroud, but part of the shroud, baffle, whatever, it's on. Now, got to put this guy on.
Actually, that's a shroud.
Okay, then this is like a baffle or something. And this is tricky because we don't want to break this.
Oh. And
we got to get it around here. And then this fits into two slots down at the bottom. Yeah. Alright. Let's get it right this time.
Hold it. Let me turn this valve the other way.
Yeah, it gets it out of the way for us. There we go. That's much better.
Look how easy.
Yeah. We're doing things the right way. That goes in the middle. And this has to clear. There we go. Alright, so I'm going to screw this to the radiator. And then we'll put the radiator down.
Okay.
That requires the little, put this, this guy, and then we'll get these guys. See, and people always over tighten these. It's been broken since day one. That's there, and now we're going to put the radiator brackets in. So the radiator bracket is back on. Our rubber is poking through the metal. Our power is not bound. So now we got to hook up the little hoses, the big hose. And this tube goes all the way out here. And then
the hose.
We got the big hose. I'm just trying to
Where's the clamp?
It's down here. So this one I did not remove today. This has this outlet, that is connected, this is connected, that is connected. Big hose. Alright. Big hose, and then we treat the petcock. Let's see what happens. Firm and not over tight, right?
Right. Usually those, because this is plastic, they want you to use the spring type.
Yeah, so otherwise it'll crack them.
Right.
Yeah, when I saw that I was like, okay. So, petcock time. Alright, now here is the source of much of our anguish today. See that little drip? This goes in here. So this is when you drain for a little bit. You just unscrew this petcock a little bit of the way, and coolant, yeah, it feels nice and firm, and coolant will then stop flowing out. If you're going to flush the entire system, you pull the petcock all the way out. Okay, all right, Tony, it looks like it had a tiny little drip that stopped, so it may be perfect.
Right.
So
if it went in, it's good.
Yeah, and it was firm, and there was a little drip. So what we're going to do is we're going to have to start putting some coolant in there. All right. And the way to do it is just put it through the degas bottle, and we know how much we took out.
Yeah. All of it.
Yeah. All right, let me look at this real quick. Yeah, we're solid.
Good, good.
I'm gonna leave it.
Well, if that went in, that was good.
What we're doing now is refilling the coolant that we saved after the petcock rubber seal failed. We were able to put it into 3 bottles, and now we're just putting it right back in. These were clean bottles, so we shouldn't have any contaminant entering the system. But to help with that, we do have the coolant filter that the folks at DTP Automotive Diesel installed for us. In the end, we did change the right belt tensioner pulley system. We succeeded, got it done, and it took about 3 hours, but that's because of the big coolant issue that we had. So, you know, it is certainly a DIY issue. I can see myself now changing belts and pulleys on a Ford 6-liter, no issues. Good experience gained. Thanks for coming along.